everyone, and welcome to a brand new live episode of the Geek Buddies Happy Hour edition here on a Friday afternoon. How are you all? I am John Rocha, writer, producer, and host here on the
Geek Buddies. Hey!
Yes, as I said,
How many years have we been doing this?
I'm sorry.
And in the past
I'm sorry.
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah,
you got the
whatever.
yips. You got the yips. This feels like the yips.
It's been a very, very busy day. I got texts from my buddies asking me if we doing this. And I'm just a little frazzled by the day. But we are here and we're live. We're gonna have some fun. But we should introduce ourselves. I already did. So, gentlemen, take it away with your fresh cut there.
I am Michael Vogel, writer and producer of animated TV shows, movies, and video games, and I do not like my fresh cut because it is too short.
Oh wow! Okay.
I did not go in and ask for the Ripley from Alien 3, but I got the Ripley from Alien 3, and I've been dealing with it all week. And everywhere I go, I see myself in the mirror, and I'm scared of myself. So it's been
that's a week of it growing out. What did it look like a few days ago?
Yeah, man.
Whoa!
I got a cut on Monday. We are now at Friday, and
whoa!
Maybe this is it. Maybe it's just not coming back. Who knows? We'll see.
Wow! That is surprising. Okay.
Hey, this is Shannon McClung. I'm an animation writer and a film and television actor. The last haircut I got was A-OK. I did not go in and ask for the Bela Lugosi.
Oh my God, Bela Lugosi! Brutal.
Oh, that's even better. That's the Norman Osborn cut.
Oh, I can see that.
Well, this has been a great live episode of the Geek Buddies, everybody. Bring them on.
Let's see.
Bring them on.
Who actually said the Norman Osborn cut? That is from @Jonathan Gabay.
It's Gabay here live. Oh my. Has he been writing you about this? I wonder if he's been writing about this.
No, he told me he was one of my first texts after the haircut, and I said, I think my hair is too short. It looks awful. And I sent him a photo, and he said, I think it looks good. But apparently, when he has an audience, he changes his tune.
A2.
He and I were supposed to go see The Bride tomorrow afternoon, so that we can see if it is truly as horrible as everyone says it is. And
not everyone.
I'm not going to go. Everyone except John Rocha.
That's right.
Because it's the worst movie in the world. John Rocha liked it.
I did. And I gotta wait. Is this? I don't know. This seems like not 100% accurate. I feel like it's not quite there, Michael. I think it's a little bit better than that one. Don't you? I mean, there's a little more hair on your head than that, right?
Listen, man.
I feel like
you're not the one living with it.
That's true. I've had some bad cuts in my life. It's the worst. Especially if it doesn't grow back quickly. That's even more.
As a friend, this is when you say it's not that bad. It's actually,
you know what? No, sorry. It's not that bad. It's not even noticed.
Well, I've had some bad cuts too in my time. So anyways, this week on the Geek Buddies, let's talk about some lanterns.
It's not noticeable at all. I'll tell you, it's not noticeable at all. I didn't even see Shannon, did you even notice it? I mean, you've been around him longer for a whole week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I noticed it real fast.
Here, look, Vogel is still cute. He just looks like an Acme cannon explosion. An Acme explosion just happened. Okay. You know what? At least I'll take the cute. You can all listen. This is not the hair salon buddies. This is the Geek Buddies. We have shit to talk about. Some bullshit, everybody.
You remember when I wasn't here a couple of weeks ago and Mike went on this tirade about me with my oversized coffee cup going, hey. This is called karma, friend.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Someone get HR on the line. Anyway, all right, so we're here live. We are having some fun tonight. It is our happy hour edition, so if you've got a drink, drink it up. Have a good time with us for sure. We're going to get into a lot of things. This is not your usual Geek Buddies where, like, we each kind of take turns.
Clearly.
We're just going to toss out stuff and talk about it, get the reactions from everybody around the table, so to speak. So let's move off of Michael's haircut. Let's move on to some stuff that's gone on this week in entertainment. We got to start here, in my opinion. We have to start here, gentlemen. A lot of rumors coming through here from Giant Freaking Robot. They're the ones who did this exclusive. According to them, they've exclusively learned that Daniel Craig has been offered the role of Christopher Dent in the Batman Part 2. He has the offer now, but if he refuses it, and this is where I think the story loses a little bit of credibility for me, then Liam Neeson is apparently next in line for the part. Remember, this went from Brad Pitt to Stellan Skarsgård, and now we're back to Daniel Craig. So I don't know what the financial ups and downs of that situation are, but like, it's an interesting thing to consider Daniel Craig. I like the choice. I think he's 15 years older than Sebastian Stan, but he looks older than he actually is. What do you think, Mike? You like that? Do you believe this? And do you believe the Liam Neeson part of it as well?
There's very few roles that you go, who are the actors that could play this part? Brad Pitt, Stellan Skarsgård, Daniel Craig, Liam Neeson. It doesn't feel like they really have this role in the pocket. I don't know quite what's happening here. I don't know if we only ever see Harvey Dent's dad in flashbacks. So it's, I mean, my assumption would be, actually, that is my assumption. My assumption is that whoever's playing the role of Harvey Dent, we are seeing flashbacks in the same way that we would see flashbacks of the Waynes, of Thomas and Martha Wayne, the same way that we might see Tommy Elliott's parents in flashbacks. Like, I do think there's going to be a piece of this story that is, well, we're going to see this when they were, because if you're seeing a young Harvey Dent, whether he is a younger kid or a teenager, then the spread of, as far as these gentlemen's ages, is a lot more open to interpretation. You're like, okay. You could be a Stellan Skarsgård, you could be a Brad Pitt. If this person is a contemporary, like Sebastian Stan is running around running for a district attorney, and his dad shows up drunk at an event, then drunk Brad Pitt and drunk Stellan Skarsgård, two very different kind of drunk. So based on the rumors around the casting, I'm assuming this is like flashback stuff. So it doesn't really matter, but like, all good actors, all bring something different to the role. We'll see what happens.
Interesting. Yeah. Shannon, your thoughts on this? I mean, Daniel Craig just walked away from the James Bond franchise. Does he want to back into something like this, another big franchise? But maybe Michael's right. Maybe this is the way to do it. Flashbacks, not current. And so
Harvey Dent's dad is not signing on for a multi-picture deal.
Well, and that's my point. That's my point. So do you think this fits more in the wheelhouse of what Daniel would do if he was to walk back into another franchise? Because remember, he was going to be Balder the Brave on the Marvel side for Thor, and that got kind of cut. So what do you think about this? Is this believable to you?
I think if he wants to work with Matt Reeves, sure. I mean, at this point, the amount of Harvey Dent that we're getting in terms of casting news, which we get his wife, we're getting his dad. This seems like Johnny Rocha's dream. I mean, this is a supporting character buffet right now of like, we need to find out where this guy came from. Yeah, I mean, my presumption was going to be, I mean, the moment you throw Brad Pitt out there, it's like, yeah, okay, this is a flashback situation. And I think Daniel Craig probably aligns a little closer with Brad Pitt, whereas Liam Neeson probably aligns a little closer with Stellan Skarsgård. I mean, sure. Like, again, if Daniel Craig, if James Bond wants to do your movie, absolutely take James Bond. At this point, it just, and granted, because we're getting specific casting announcements right now, it feels like maybe Bruce Wayne might be getting a little lost in this. But I'm curious to see what the movie actually is. I mean, when you're building out a family like this, my head always goes to Tommy Elliott, someone that knew Bruce growing up, whose families knew each other. So the fact that it's looking, I mean, and I'm totally presuming that it seems like Harvey and Bruce will have known each other coming up, or, maybe the Dents knew the Waynes. In terms of a cast, in terms of an actor to get Daniel Craig, ain't too shabby.
Yeah.
I'm just very curious to what this movie is actually going to be.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, the way it's described, he's an abusive alcoholic father of Harvey Dent. In modern comic interpretations, he's depicted as a violent household tyrant who regularly beats Harvey's mother and psychologically torments his son by forcing young Harvey to flip a coin to determine whether he'll be punished. I mean, we rarely see Craig play villains. So there could be a piece of him that is excited about the possibility of playing a guy like this, who's the father of a guy that eventually becomes a supervillain when he psychologically breaks. So it could be a fascinating thing. And as you said, Michael, the flashbacks would be the way to go about it, because we've seen that they're going to explore the Wayne's past from the first Batman movie. So probably going to flesh out this more. Will this connect up, though, as they're fleshing it out and going into the background and the history? Are we looking at a connection full on to Court of Owls? And you imagine Daniel Craig could slide right into being somebody who could be a member of the Court of Owls, possibly. I'm not sure if Christopher Dent is in the comics. I'm not that well versed on that, but could be interesting. What?
Maybe.
Nope.
I mean,
Okay.
well, just that the Court of Owls is more. But Matt Reeves might turn things around. Like Harvey Dent's dad being a kind of abusive, drunk guy isn't really high society Gotham.
Was he not wealthy? He was not wealthy. Did he come from?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But again, Matt Reeves can do whatever he wants. But also, we talk, and I mean, I'm guilty of this too. We talk a whole lot about the Court of Owls when nobody has told us the Court of Owls are in this movie. So
that's a very good point. Yeah.
It's the Court of Owls. Like maybe it's not. It'll be, but yeah, like I said before when we've been talking about this, like the amount that we're diving into, Harvey Dent. There's a chance, and I mean, like the Elliots were mentioned in the first Batman movie, but there's a chance that like this movie is very Batman Two-Face focused. And as we see more of the Waynes and the backstory about the Waynes and the backstory about Harvey Dent's life, and we see how these two people have sort of become who they are, and this is really a Batman versus Two-Face kind of thing. And maybe Tommy Elliott is introduced and you're building to a third movie that's Hush and the Court of Owls. So like there's a lot of ways that it could go. Yeah.
Do you guys worry that with this merger, the impending merger and all of this stuff, that all of this can completely change? And will we get a trilogy? Will we get do you guys worry if any of this puts everything in question?
I think if the movie was a giant bomb, then yes. But my guess is that the movie isn't going to be a giant bomb. If anything, I think it will do better than the first one. Just because the amount of folks that maybe didn't see the first one in theaters who saw it at home enjoyed it. And again, like October is always, that's scary movie season. And I think having a Batman movie, I mean, of all the superheroes you could have in October, Batman seems like the most natural fit. I think this one will do better. But yes, I mean, could they come in and wipe the board clean if they didn't like how it performed? Sure.
I don't think they. I mean, yes, he's right. I don't think that there's. I mean, maybe it's gonna have reviews like The Bride, but like, I don't think that. I don't think that the Batman movie will perform poor enough that there would be any real reason to sort of get off the track. Like, I think that for all that, and maybe I'm going to be wrong, and I'll be like, "Fuck, I'm going to eat my words," but. For all that we're worried about all of these drastic changes that are going to happen, I think when the merger happens, a lot of things that we as geeks are concerned about will probably continue on business as usual for a while.
Before there's any kind of changes made. That's a good point, Mike, for sure. All right, well, let's leave this thing because we'll see what happens. And as Michael said, like we don't even know what the story's about yet. We want to know what the movie's all about, so we'll see down the road when that gets revealed. But I like the idea of Daniel Craig, Scarlett Johansson, Sebastian Stan, Robert Pattinson, Andy Serkis. This is a nice little collection of actors. So it's exciting. And they're clearly opening the pocketbooks if they're even considering Daniel Craig. So interesting to see. Well, let's move on to something else. This movie is coming soon. We got ourselves some more shots from the sets and the film of Mandalorian and Grogu here on the latest Empire magazine. You got Totta the Hutt up there. Do you even lift, bro? You've got Mandalorian there riding the mini version. What is that? The mini version of the AT-AT. They're riding around on that thing, and so cool.
It's like
cool.
It's like an AT-AT it's like an AT-AT for Shannon.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I mean, sure. Just look in the mirror, bud.
Shannon, let's give you first dibs on it. And you can address Michael. Michael. Go ahead.
Say whatever you want. You're not beating that. I believe that is the AT-ST, the all-terrain strike transport. Which
you are correct.
Yes.
Which was a series of vehicles that they put out that were not in the movies, but they were putting vehicles out because they wanted to sell more toys. So the fact that it is showing up on screen, that's very, very cool. When we had heard that Totta the Hutt was supposed to be like a gladiator fighter and kind of yoked, that is exactly what I think what I think he would look like. He's got some biceps.
Yeah.
He's got some musculature that the rest of his family does not seem to have.
Look at his triceps. He's been working the tris hard. Look at this.
I see no issue with this design. So to hear about people making jokes, I'm kind of like, I mean, you're not wrong, but what did you think this was going to be?
Michael, go ahead.
I think the issue is less. Yeah, that's what. I mean, look, this is not a new idea. Like when the Star Wars comics got started and were coming out, there's a whole story where Luke went and fought a Hutt. It wasn't Totta the Hutt, but fought a Hutt in the gladiator ring, and you had the guy that was the Hutt that was super yoked. And in the comics, that was really cool because like you had not seen that before. You're like, oh, okay, that does make sense. Hutts can come in different shapes and sizes. I think the problem is that one of the reasons that Jabba the Hutt works is that he's practical. Like he was a practical puppet. Like he really existed. Like he didn't move a lot. And when you look at the anatomy of a Hutt, Hutts work really well when they're not moving. Even in the Book of Boba Fett, the twins, who are also going to appear in this movie, are kind of carried along and they deliver their message and they're sitting on their giant barge. And you're like, okay, the only time we've ever seen a Hutt actually move is when George Lucas decided to re-release the original trilogy. And that didn't look great to anybody. Now, granted, visual effects have come a very long way. But when you look at that picture of Totta the Hutt, it's not that there's anything about that design that is particularly horrible or offensive. That is a yoked Hutt. The real question is going to be, how does that guy look when he's fighting in the ring? Like, if it looks awesome and they really nail the movement, great. But that design has 1,000 different ways that once it's actually moving and being animated, it could look real, real janky. And I think that that's the real issue with it. It's like, cool, yoked Hutt, I'm on board. Let's see what happens with it. But boy, that is a big challenge for the VFX team.
It's interesting. Yeah. I mean, I like the look. As you said, Mike, I want to say it works in the ring. It has shades of, Thor Ragnarok with Hulk and Thor, but I like that they're going all in on it. Like, it's not like, oh, he's got some muscles. Like, this dude is jacked, yoked, as Shannon said. And so I'm looking forward to see how it works in the ring, what the purpose of it all is, and who are the villains, because we still don't know who the villains are in this thing overall. We know that the Jabba the Hutt cousins are there. We know Totta the Hutt's there. The twins, sorry. We know Totta the Hutt's there. But what is this all leading us
My
to?
guess is the Hutts are going to be
the main villains.
Yeah, here's my guess, and this is apropos of nothing. This is just like Spidey sense. That whole thing with the Empire, like we see Mando in the snow. He takes out an AT-AT in the snow. We've seen that in the trailer. We see that the remnants of the Empire are at some base on a snow planet. I feel like that's the opening of the movie. I might be wrong and they're the big bads and whatever, but I feel like that's the opening of the movie. And then when we get into the meat of the movie, it really involves some issue with the Hutt, or the New Republic is trying to make a deal with the Hutts, because we know we have this giant scene at this ring with Totta the Hutt fighting in the ring that Mando's going to get involved in. And we've seen Nal Hutta, which is the Hutt planet. with the twins, and we've seen that they have a bunch of droids, and we see a bunch of battles happening there and some stuff going on.
Yeah.
And we see Embo as the other bounty hunter that's going to
True.
make an appearance into the movie, who traditionally has worked for the Hutts in the Clone Wars animated series. So there's like a little bit of Empire remnants, and then there's a whole lot of stuff that sort of leads towards the Hutts. So that would be my my Star Wars guess based on the trailer, but maybe I'm totally wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I think if the Imperial remnants were going to be the main bad guys, then they would have gotten Jeremy Allen White to play one of them. But instead, you know, he's playing.
That's a good point.
He's playing a Hutt. I think they would have gotten somewhat of a name versus the folks that they have used in the series and bring them over.
Yeah. Well, the other element is interesting when you read the quotes here. They're clearly just kind of having fun with this movie. I think there's like when Filoni says this is going to be a celebration of the duo, that tells you right there. They're just hoping people like the movie. They're not going to be groundbreaking. They're not going to, you know, add massive stuff to the lore. It's very much just like come to the theater. Let's have a good time. Let's enjoy Star Wars and get on out of here. Like that's feels like that whole thing. So I like that.
That's what I like going to a movie. Let's enjoy something and get out and never think of it again.
It just feels that way, though. It does. It feels that way. So we'll see.
Well, I think it's possible that the perceived lack of enthusiasm, the lack of interest, like could that translate to a lower weekend box office opening? Absolutely. But if people go in and like it, then it could have legs. I mean, if it's you know just not good, then you could have a Solo situation where people just don't go and see it. Whereas if people go out and do have a good time, like Filoni said, and they get out of there and tell folks, hey, this one's actually pretty good. I don't think it's DOA by any stretch of the imagination.
No, it's not DOA. If people like it, look, Star Wars fans are a fickle bunch, and Star Wars fans, including us, like love to complain and talk about what's wrong with Star Wars and why it's not working. But secretly, or not so secretly, we all really want to love Star Wars. And so we're all going to go see that movie on opening weekend. And if all the Star Wars nerds come out and go, oh man, thank God, that was such a blast, I had a good time, then all of their friends who are not Star Wars fans will go, oh, I guess this one is worth seeing, and they'll go. Like, or it could go the other way. So we'll see.
Well, it's like Wonder Man, right? Like people were like, oh man, I don't know if this is going to be good. And then people watched it and loved it. And the word of mouth got people to watch it more and more. And you just never know. And then you hear all the stories that they were going to toss that one, like they weren't even going to release it. And so you just never know with these kinds of situations. Let's stay on the Star Wars thing real quick, because I want to ask you guys about these comments. Daniel Ings was interviewed about his work on Starfighter. And of course, Daniel Ings, you guys remember him from Night of the Seven Kingdoms. The Baratheon there, and this is Lionel Baratheon. And he says that this film has a, quote, punk feel to it and a tremendous ending. Is this something that you guys anticipated hearing? That with it's got, what does he say? He says, there were days when I was walking around, there's droids rolling around and animatronic heads and just hundreds of people in these amazing costumes, but with a sort of punk feel to it. I loved it, so I felt excellent about it. And he has total faith in Sean Levy. Punk? Starfighter? Ryan Gosling? Punk? I don't know if I buy all that. What do you guys think? Punk?
Man, he was having a good day on set. Dude was having a good day on set and wanted to talk about how great it was to be around a bunch of droids and animatronics and puppets. Like, good for him. Good for him. Do I that like unless Lucasfilm and Disney come out with an official statement that says, get ready for punk Star Wars, I'm not going to worry about it too much one way or the other.
I was going to say, like Sean Levy and Ryan Gosling, punk is like the last word I would use with that combo. Shannon, your thoughts on this?
I mean, I haven't read that many interviews with Daniel Ings. Maybe punk is just a term he likes to throw around for something that is good.
Very possible. Very, very possible.
But also, I mean, you look at his career. Like, this is a very successful, actor from the UK.
Yes.
Who is starting to become more and more known from the Gentleman series and now from Night of the Seven Kingdoms. He's getting opportunities working in franchises that he hasn't worked in before. I'm sure it's really exciting. And like the whole idea that we're doing Star Wars, but it's not connected to this, but it is a part of the world. It looks different. This is exciting. This just feels very punk. Like, I mean, I don't think there's anything telling in him using that as a descriptor.
Okay. All right. I just I bumped on it because I was like, Punk, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, fun times for sure on the set, I'm sure, as you said there. Anyway, so we're at the 30-minute mark. So there's 300 of you hanging out with us alive tonight. Thank you so much. We appreciate it madly. Please remember, as we're going along, to send in your Streamlabs and Super Chats. When we're doing the live shows now, we're going to try to answer some questions as we go along. So let's take a moment and answer some of these right now. Cowboys Fan 92 says, good evening, buddies. Have you guys seen the new Daredevil Born Again Season 2 teaser that dropped yesterday? If so, what do you think? What a great segue to get us into that. That's right. The 25-second thing dropped yesterday. Just like that.
Wasn't the only thing.
So yeah, we had 25 seconds here. We got more of Kristen Ritter. We got more of Kingpin beating people up in the ring. We got more with Daredevil. So what did you guys think about this particular situation? You like the looks? You like the 30 seconds we got? What'd you guys think?
I liked it. The main thing that I took away from those 30 seconds is now I know why they came out a couple weeks ago and said season 3 is going to be less political. This is going to be Daredevil and Jessica Jones and all their friends beating up a bunch of dirty cops.
Pretty much. That's what it feels like.
That is what this season is. So in the world that we currently live in with ICE and everything else, like, you can see how at some point, and like, again, through no fault of their own, since they were just taking a successful arc from the comics and saying, let's do this. But you get to a certain point and you're like, we gotta take this city back. And you're like, well, we know who you're taking it back from. And I kind of know what this is going to look like. And this trailer was a lot of that. I got excited about it though. The Kristen Ritter of it all, I know Johnny feels differently about this, but the Kristen Ritter of it all actually is on the scale of how is this going to be compared to season 1 really weighs heavily in season 2's favor for me.
Yeah. Well, this is fascinating, isn't it, Shannon? Like, okay, so we got to see Matt Murdock in his Daredevil suit, talking to Jessica Jones. Benjamin Poindexter, Bullseye, is wielding knives. Murdock confronts Fisk. Then we saw Tony Dalton in quick shots as Jack Duquesne coming back on this one. Of course, he was part of the Hawkeye situation. But this comes out in 18 days. And to me, there's been little to no hype around this season. No, there's like, there's like hardly anything happening right now. I'm a little surprised by how subdued the campaign and the PR and the rollout has been for this season 2. What did you think of these 25 seconds we got here? And what do you think about the rollout right now? Are you surprised?
The 25 seconds didn't, knock my socks off, but neither did the trailer. But also, no trailer that I see for this is going to keep me from watching the show, just because I like the Netflix show so much. And even though I thought season 1 was a mixed bag, I'm still going to come back. The thing that did get me excited is the dynamic between Matt and Jessica. That's the thing that I'm very, very excited to see. In terms of the marketing, 18 days? Maybe the last week and a half, maybe there will be a bit more of a surge in terms of marketing, but the first season was not beloved. It finished on a high for a lot of folks, but maybe, I don't know. In terms of the marketing for streaming shows, just kind of where Marvel is, I don't think they're rooting against it, but
no.
It's just
it is. I didn't realize it came out in 18 days. Like that actually surprised me a little bit. Yeah. It does seem like Marvel is. They'll go big for Spider-Man, but I think they're just like put all our bets. It's like at the craps table. It's like move all of your chips onto Spider-Man and Doomsday, and they're kind of taking a pause. Like they're not, for me, living in LA, if you don't live in LA, you don't realize this, but like I know when things are coming out because I drive down Sunset Boulevard and I see all of the billboards, and there's like 35 Bridgerton. I don't even watch Bridgerton anymore, but I know Bridgerton is on for all the billboards that are on Sunset and Crescent Heights. Yeah. And like Wonder Man, Daredevil, like no posters on construction sites, no billboards. Yeah. It is light, the promotion, at least in LA compared to what we're used to.
It does feel that way. And I know, Shannon, you said like the first season wasn't received that well, but the whole promotion of the first season was, well, just let us get through this. Once we do, the real creators who we hired are really going to show you what they got here in the second season. And there hasn't been that much hype around it. Maybe they're sitting on a bunch of secrets. Maybe they're sitting on, they don't want to give away too much, possibly, but there's been hardly any hype around this. And I've just been surprised.
You're not giving away the secret. You put up a giant billboard with Daredevil's face on it.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, let's move on to this other question from Cowboys fan. It says, secondly, who would you cast or see as DC Studios' new Joker in Gunn's universe? I think they confirmed Batman 2 cast by July at the latest.
Who should play the Joker in the DC universe?
Wow. Well, shouldn't we select a Batman first and then I can see what Joker they would get? I feel like, right? Unless you're doing the Black Adam route.
I think Bill Skarsgård is the easy answer for folks.
Yeah, come on.
What did I just say? The easy answer for folks. I know you're getting more sound into your ears because you don't have as much hair to buffet it.
Oh my god, we're going off. All right.
But I did preface. I did preface the statements.
I just couldn't hear you from all the way up here.
Nope.
Vanessa Bayer and Scrubs, I need you to take it down. I need you both to take it down.
What about, go with me here.
Okay.
DeVito.
Danny DeVito?
By the way, it would be so bad, but it would be so good.
I mean, I feel like if you're not going to give Poulter Jason Bourne, Poulter as the Joker would be interesting. He's got that malleable face. He's got size to him now. You could make him a really interesting Joker, I feel. And this is just at that edge where he might be too old to do it. I think this is the time you want to grab him and put him in this thing if he's interested.
Not bad. You know who I would actually, your Poulter thing made me think of this. So I was thinking of it, but like, Austin Butler.
Oh, yeah, sure. I could see that. That's
maybe
possible.
Austin Butler.
Okay.
It'll be hard. Like, I mean, we've already seen just through the deleted scene, and we'll see if it comes into the movies. We've kind of seen what Matt Reeves' direction was going to be a little bit, like a little taste of Barry Keoghan as the Joker.
Yeah.
Like, the thing about the Joker is one of the probably top 5 most popular characters in all of comic books, like hero or villain. But coming up with, and there's lots of different takes of the Joker from the comics, but coming up with something that you're going to do with your movie Joker that hasn't been done, that is good, is arguably harder than what to do with your Batman. Like, I kind of see, and look, I know James Gunn with the brave and the bold of it all. He's like, he doesn't want to do a light and funny Batman. He doesn't do this, but given the tone of James Gunn's DC universe, there's a world where you get a less dark and brooding Batman. And there's plenty of examples from the comics and animation where that's totally acceptable. So you can see where he might be carving out his own space. Batman is a dad. If you still go down the Damian route, like like, okay, there's difference here. This is something different to play. Yeah. What do you do with the Joker that hasn't been done? I don't know, man. Good luck.
Yeah.
I think when they were doing one of the animated versions, and I think John DiMaggio voiced him. Like
Red Hood.
Red Hood. That was great.
And wasn't he like a little kind of like, he's a little bigger too, right? Like he wasn't the traditional kind of lanky, skinny Joker. Like he had a little more.
I wouldn't say he was big, but maybe a little bigger. But the voice made him feel bigger. He did a different thing. He did a different take on the voice for sure.
See, that's the type of thing that I think you're right about. Is like, how do you take this character who is so iconic, who one actor won an Oscar for Best Supporting, another actor won Best Actor for, so it's such a high bar that I feel like you do have to do something different. But if you go too far away, it doesn't work. That seems. I mean, I do think Vogel is right that you cast your Batman first, or I can't remember. Johnny said that.
It was Rocha.
You cast Batman first before you cast your Joker.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't think James would do this. First of all, this is DiMaggio's Joker. That's kind of the size he had. It was certainly a little more filled out for sure, bigger face. for sure. And that approach was interesting in that Red Hood movie. But I don't think James Gunn would do this. But as I'm finishing season 1 of Industry, David Johnson, if you went with a black actor to play the Joker, David Johnson as the Joker would be fascinating. It's a gutsy decision. I don't think he would ever do it because the backlash would be insane. But his work in Alien Requiem, his work in The Long Walk, and his work in Industry that I've seen, I think it would be fascinating to give that role to David.
I don't hate that. Would there be backlash? I guess there would be backlash. I'm being naive. Of course there would be backlash. But like the Joker, the Joker's such an enigmatic character and his backstory is so vague that I do wonder, like, if you did cast a black guy to play the Joker, like, what are you really getting upset about? Oh, you can't possibly. You're like, you don't know. Nobody knows anything. The Joker has zero, or like, unless you go by the Killing Joke Red Hood origin, which a lot of people do. Like, there's no origin here. Like, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's interesting. I think that is an interesting suggestion, and I like it because I'm really nice to my co-hosts, John.
Oh yeah, today. WVU Grant said a black Joker wearing whiteface. It's not whiteface. It's clown makeup. There's a difference. It's clown makeup. There's a difference.
Watch me Homer Simpson my way away from the microphone.
I just think it's different. I like his look. I think he'd be fascinating, right? Especially if James keeps saying he doesn't want to have a comical Batman or a comical approach to his brave.
I just love that you're on a first name basis with your nemesis now.
Listen, James, he understands. I defend. Someone called me a shill the other day for James Gunn, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And
if somebody called you a shill for James Gunn, they are not listening to this podcast
for sure.
Or they don't know what shill means.
Oh, did they call you a shill because of your Lanterns tweets?
Yes.
All right.
Which James Gunn didn't shoot it, didn't write it, didn't direct it, but somehow, if I defend it, it's that kind of situation. Let's see what the next question is here. WVU grad, I think it's him. Here it is. T. Howard. T. Howard says he was fired from Iron Man 2 because he threatened a production partner to RDJ's wife. Yeah, he claims threatened to punch his teeth out. Have you ever heard a story like this taking 20 years to come out? Well, it's funny you asked this question, WVU grad, because I do have a picture lined up for this. I was going to ask the boys about this as well. So yes, he did come out and say that was the reason, but
what did he say?
He basically said that he threatened to punch the teeth out of a producing partner of RDJ's wife, right? Robin, I can't forget her last name.
Susan Downey.
Sorry, Susan Downey. That's it, Susan Downey. Sorry. And so that's what he claims is the reason he was moved off of Iron Man. But I think that's utter horseshit. I don't think it's true at all. My belief is that he was moved off because of two things. One, he wanted to be paid more than RDJ, and that was an issue. And two, I think Marvel was like, well, we need someone who can take a bit of a backseat to Robert Downey Jr. This is his thing. Terrence doesn't seem to think, I think Terrence wants equal billing, and that's not the way we're going with this. So I think those are the reasons he was moved off. Plus there was incidences with him offset in other situations that maybe they didn't want Marvel didn't want to get tied up with. You know, what do you guys think about this?
I thought the story he told was the money, and that's the story he had been telling for
a long time,
for almost 20 years. Like,
yes,
why? Like, I don't understand why. Well, I don't want to say that I threatened to punch this guy in the mouth. I don't know why you hide that.
Yeah. So let me read it real quick, Michael. This is what he said. Joel Silver came and and this is, by the way, he's on a podcast, a PBD podcast. I don't know what that is. He said, Joel Silver came and had a conversation with me, and he's like, the reason your name isn't above the titles is because you're not the star of this thing. It's Jody. He's talking about the brave one. And if you get nominated for an Oscar, it's going to be for supporting actor, not best actor. And I was like, thank you for telling me that. Now I understand. But you have to remember that I'm a man just like you. And if you ever talk to me in that way again, I'm going to knock the teeth out of your mouth. That's what he was saying to a producing partner. So it wasn't even anything connected with Iron Man. It was a producing partner of Susan's on another film called The Brave One that Jodie Foster played a vigilante in, if you remember. So your thoughts on this?
You know, there's a world where all things can be true here.
Fair point.
Like, I do think he asked for more money, and Marvel, particularly at that point in Marvel's trajectory was like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
we're not going to pay you more money. But also, if you asked for more money and you also threatened to punch somebody in the teeth, and the producers of the movie are like, yeah, like he's asking for more money. Also, he threatened to punch somebody in the teeth. Guess what? You don't get the role.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like there are a lot of people, like I learned this really early on. I learned this lesson when I was at Sony, and I was like a really young executive, and the two co-presidents of Sony, I was like chatting with one of them, and they were like, listen, one thing you have to remember is there are certain people that fall under the category of it's just not worth it. Yeah. And there's certain people that are. Yeah. There are some really big showrunners out there who have shows that all of you absolutely love, that I absolutely despise those showrunners and would never work with them under any circumstances because it's just not worth it. And then there's people that are so good that even if they're assholes, you're like, look, if we can get this person, like, you got to put up with it because it's going to be worth it in the long run for the show, whether it's because of their talent or whatever. And I think that Terrence Howard at that point in his career thought that he was in the I'm worth it category. Yeah. And he found out with Iron Man 2 that he was not in that category.
Well, I think that's the thing that you kind of realize about life. It's like where you're at in that moment, you start to feel yourself, and then you can lose opportunities. And by the way, he says this, that his career has been full of ups and downs. He admits that, quote, his aggression and his need to be a man cost him many opportunities. And he said it was a conversation with Denzel that gave him a new perspective, because Denzel told him, look at your hands. Your fists are all balled up. All of these producers are trying to open your hand so they can put money in it, but you won't do it. You keep your hands all tight and you're blowing it. Great advice from Denzel Washington to Terrence Howard. But, you know, in the past, the whole situation with Iron Man, they were going to minimize the Rhodey character. Favreau was unhappy with Howard's performance. That's what EW reported in the past. And they had said that they were going to reduce his role in the second one. So that's why they were offering him less money. And he complained that the contracts they had signed apparently don't mean anything because he had signed for longer. Because people forget, RDJ was, you know, they were taking a big chance with RDJ. Terrence Howard had established himself at the time. And so, yeah, so you look at all. So you're probably right, Michael. All these things could be true at once, just in different ways. Yeah. Interesting stuff. So, all right, let's move on to another question here. And then we'll get back. Well, we're kind of hitting topics already that I was going to talk about. So, Richard's Art. Aloha, gents. I've helped study African snails and slugs. In a perfect FX arena, the CGI would be complex, especially in 4K, whatever. The skin is always moving. So I guess he's talking about...
I'll be honest with you. The beginning of that statement, I didn't know where we were going.
I think we got to Totta the Hutt.
I've helped studied African snails and slugs, and I was like, huh? And then I was like, oh, okay, got it. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Do you know what it makes me think of, actually, is like, fun fact about Marvel is the reason that the Hulk in the Avengers looks better than previous Hulks, Ang Lee's Hulk or the first Hulk movie that Universal did, is body fat. One of the things that they realized with Avengers is that when you put a little bit of body fat on the Hulk, not a lot, he's a pretty muscular guy, but that little layer of body fat that Mark Ruffalo's Hulk has that actually jiggles a little bit, like when he lands, actually makes him look real. When the Hulk is like a 0 body percent shredded Hulk, he looks like a video game character. And I think with Totta the Hutt, that's kind of part of it too, is like, what is he? Is there gonna be some jiggle to that slimy slug body? Like, it's gonna be interesting. Listen, it'd be great if it looked awesome, but there's coming from that animation background, there's certain types of characters or character designs that you look at and you're like, okay, we'll see how you run with that one. How does a hut move?
Yeah, just with its tail, right? Like a snake.
Watch a New Hope, the special editions. It's right there.
Well, that is that is the problem. Is actually like, aside from even in Clone Wars, like I'm sure there's an example that I'm missing, and somebody can like tell me in the comments. But even in the Clone Wars, when you go to see the Hutts, like Hutts tend to be pretty stationary.
Yeah.
And when they're stationary, they're fine. A Hutt sort of hustling in a ring and moving and rolling and doing stuff, that is something we've not seen before. And you know, that is going to be the challenge.
It might feel like Yoda in that fight with
except
Dooku.
Everybody loves that.
I hate it.
With Dooku, you hate that fight?
With Dooku, I hate that fight. I hate it.
It's if you watch the Industrial Light and Magic documentary, it's actually really interesting. They kind of go through the second season of Industrial Light and Magic, which is not as many episodes. They go through Force Awakens and they talk about the Jar Jar Binks of it all. And they talk about how they were all so excited. Here was the first fully mocapped main character in a movie, not a character that just had a couple scenes, but this was a main character in the movie, totally motion captured, grabbed the performance, digital actor, the entire thing. And they were so proud of the achievement. Yeah. And then audiences reacted to Jar Jar Binks the way that we all reacted to Jar Jar Binks. Right. And they were like devastated. And then when they did Attack of the Clones, the same team worked on Yoda because Yoda had been a puppet in Force Awakens. They've since gone back and gotten rid of that puppet because it was not a great puppet. And did the digital Yoda, but the first time digital Yoda appeared was in Attack of the Clones, and they were scared shitless because Yoda had never been digital before. Right. They were still feeling bad about the Jar Jar Binks of it all, and they had gone through this whole thing to try and do it, and they worked so hard on it. And they talk about this specific moment that when they were in the theater opening night, and they were so panicked because they were having Jar Jar PTSD, and then Yoda comes out, and then he like pulls his lightsaber and starts bouncing around like fucking Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah. And the audience did go crazy, which did happen when we saw it opening night at Mann's Chinese Theater as well. Yeah. And I don't particularly love it, but it is now like that is how Yoda moves. Like Yaddle moves that way when she fights Dooku in Clone Wars. Grogu moves that way when he jumps around. That is now part of the bit. So it is what it is. But it is interesting because they talk about that moment specifically.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
a little mocap history for the day.
It's just a little noticeable special effects that throws me out of it. I like the Yoda that, you know, kind of does what he does. But yeah, I remember going crazy for it in the theater. And then as I've watched it subsequently, I've been like, especially when the face stuff. And I was like, so it's just been my thing though.
I mean, it is the type of thing that when that happened in 2002, it was so unexpected. Like I don't remember 100%. that being given away prior to the movie coming out. So
it was not.
When you saw him launch into this fight, and granted, you have to kind of get over Frank Oz going as he's flipping back and forth, but you never thought it's funny.
I think Yoda's battle with Palpatine. This is getting so geeky, but I guess we're the Geek Buddies and it's happy hour.
Geek Buddies.
I think Yoda's battle with Palpatine in Revenge of the Sith still keeps some of the Yoda bounciness, but pulls it back, and you get a lot more of just Yoda use it. I think Yoda's fight with Palpatine, I prefer to Yoda's fight with Dooku.
I think there was pushback. If I remember correctly, there were people who liked it, and then there was pushback for people who didn't like it on those.
Are you telling me Star Wars fans had diverse opinions?
Exactly, yeah. Let's see. Jared LT78 says comic artist Ethan Van Sciver would never have said what he had said to Aaron Pierre's face. The consequences would be popcorn worthy. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but he came out with his opinions on the Lanterns trailer, which we'll get to a little bit later on the show, and said that Aaron Pierre and
Kyle
Chandler look like the derogatory word for a homosexual, the F word, and then called him gay as well, and said they're both. And I just was like, what? Why do you need to go there? Like, I just don't understand the anger that possesses you to say those kinds of things. Because I think Jared is right. If you said that to Aaron Pierre's, I think you shouldn't say shit out loud that you wouldn't say to someone's face. And I know Ethan wouldn't say that to Aaron Pierre's face because Aaron would probably put his fist through his face. So it's just
also gay people are hot.
Aaron Pierre's hot, gay or not? I would say.
But I'm just saying. Yeah. You can tell me they look like they're gay. Yeah, because they're hot. That's all I'm saying. I don't think that's how he meant it.
No, I don't think it was either.
when you are a gay person and you've had to deal with people calling you different levels of slurs throughout your life, you learn to go, I do look gay. you fat fuck. Like, you learn how to spin it.
The F slur that he used, was it the 1 syllable or 2 syllable?
2 syllable.
Ooh.
He said during his stream, Van Sciver calls John Stewart actor Aaron Pierre the derogatory word for a homosexual with the F word.
A maggot.
And, yes, a maggot, but with a different word, a letter in front, and a homosexual. That's what he said before adding, it's real creepy to hear him talk. That's what he said. But he'd also criticized Nathan Fillion in Superman, saying he was atrociously stupid looking and a humiliation. Those are the things that he has said before. But he's an angry little man. He's an angry little man. So, I don't know. I think it's dumb.
Wow.
All right. Yeah, it's a shame. Wiley says, I like The Bride. I thought it was really good besides some story parts. Also, really want to hear Michael's thoughts on Hoppers if he has seen it yet. Michael, you have seen Hoppers. Yeah.
Oh, I just looked at what this Ethan Van Sciver guy looks like.
Yes.
Man, I don't give a fuck with that man, thanks.
Anyway,
Hoppers is great. Hoppers is great. Hoppers is a delight. Hoppers is so much fun. It's really different movie for Pixar. It is kind of chaotic and insane.
Okay.
Like, it's just in a good way. Like, it still has that Pixar heart to it. But it kind of just, you start off and you're like, okay, I get what this is. It's kind of Avatar, but with beavers. Okay, cool. And then it gets a little further in and you're like, oh, this is a little crazy. And then it gets there's a specific thing that happens about halfway through the movie where the entire audience was like, oh shit. And from that point on, it just goes off the rails, but in a really fun way. Like, it's a very sort of, I don't know that it's quite as good in my heart as Emperor's New Groove is, but it is to Pixar's movies the way Emperor's New Groove was to Disney animation, where you're like, this is wild. Gabe, who I'm no longer speaking to after he called me Norman Osborn, we saw it. We both saw it together, and we both have our rankings of Pixar movies. And for both of us, it ended up about in the middle. Like, there's about 30 Pixar movies. It was like, I think like 15 for him and 17 for me. But again, when Pixar movies are stacked to be some of the most beloved movies of all time, kind of landing in that middle area is pretty good.
Yeah. I'm probably seeing it tomorrow, early in the morning, because at 9:40 a.m. I think there is, and I want to do a review of it on the show. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's been the best. They said it's been the best reviewed Pixar movie in 6 years. So,
for sure,
positive. That's a positive for sure. WV Grass says little help for the haircut funds. Thank you, WV. There you go.
Thanks.
We don't need to cut anymore. We need to
KJ says, we all say that the greatest geek year is 1982, but I think a new contender for greatest geek year should be 1989. One banger after the next.
Shannon knows this. Shannon knows this. I've said this 1,000 times. I think 1989 is hands down the best year for geeks of all time.
Okay.
Just also like one of the best years for movies, period.
Right. Okay, so 1989, Batman, right?
Last Crusade.
Last Crusade, yes.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, sleeper hit of the summer.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters 2, which a lot of people don't like now, but Ghostbusters 2 was funny as shit in the theaters back then.
It's not bad. Yeah. All right. I'm trying to look up
Little Mermaid. Here, okay, look at this. Top 20 movies of 1989.
Okay, break it down.
Batman, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Dead Poets Society, Back to the Future 2, Do the Right Thing, Lethal Weapon 2, Glory, When Harry Met Sally, Born on the 4th of July, Field of Dreams, Little Mermaid, The Abyss, Heathers, Say Anything, Ghostbusters 2, Roadhouse, Uncle Buck, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and Parenthood.
Wow. And let's throw a few more in here. Weekend at Bernie's is 1989. Henry V, which launched Kenneth Branagh's career, is 1989. Did you already say Born on the 4th of July?
I did.
Okay. The Fabulous Baker Boys, which was a nomination for Michelle Pfeiffer. Yes. Sex, Lies, and Videotape, Steven Soderbergh, which essentially launches the independent film movement in 1989.
Yep.
The Killer is the first film from John Woo that crosses over into American audiences and begins the love affair with John Woo from America as well. So yeah, interesting stuff for 1988. A lot of interesting movies.
We were all the age that we are, from a psychological nostalgia level, inclined to think that 1989 is a great year. We are all at the exact right age, but arguably, like, you look at that list and you're like, it is banger after banger.
Here's the TV side. The Simpsons debuts in 1989. Seinfeld debuts in 1989. Saved by the Bell debuts in 1989. Quantum Leap, Baywatch, Family Matters, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, Doogie Howser, Cops debuts in 1989. America's Funniest Home Videos debuts in 1989. So that's a lot of really good television that debuts in 1989. So
America's Funniest Home Videos America's Funniest Home Videos is wild, because now we all just send each other memes all day. And you got to tell Key, like, back in my day, we didn't send each other memes. We all sat down for a half hour on Sunday night and they just showed us funny memes.
That's true. Oh, also the Arsenio Hall show. One of the really most amazing shows ever came out in 1989 as well. So yeah, exactly. Richard John says, everybody's seen that one. Okay, KJ says The Black Cauldron in 1985 was Disney's major box office bomb. Looking back at it now, was it really a bad film or just misunderstood?
It's a bad film.
Yeah, I'm just going to say it's not a good film.
It's a bad film. It was ambitious. They were trying to do something good, but ultimately that's not a good movie. And I don't even mean that the darkness of it or that it tonally doesn't fit Disney. Like, it's just not very good.
Yeah. Follows it up with, is Black Cauldron better or Secret of Nim? Secret of Nim.
Secret of Nim.
Secret of Nim is 1,000 times better.
That's not even a question.
Oh, like, not even. Come on.
All right, Philly sent us. Thank you, Philly, for the super sticker. Let's stop there. Let's move on to some other conversation topics. Gentlemen, this is apparently happening. Last night on the hot mic, Jeff just kind of casually dropped this to an answer one of our questions that, according to him, let me read his actual quote. He goes, I don't really know what to do with this tip. This is what he said to me. I heard that the Lord of the Rings movie, I'm told that there's a new trilogy. I hear that there's a new Lord of the Rings trilogy in the works. And when I asked him if The Hunt for Gollum would be the first installment, he said, I think so. I think it would be the first one. So, I mean, we heard that Ian McKellen's coming back, Elijah Wood's coming back. So is this why they're coming back, that this has been a plan in motion? Do you guys think this should be the way they go? Or was maybe Jeff hearing a tip that there's another trilogy that they're working on that does not start with this movie? Your thoughts? Whoever wants to jump in on this.
I can't imagine what a new Lord of the Rings trilogy would be.
Yeah.
But I really hope it doesn't start with this. But to be fair, if the Elijah Wood and Ian McKellen of it all wasn't in the mix and it was just Andy Serkis kind of doing his Gollum project, I'd be like, no way. But the fact that they're in it in some capacity, you know what it's going to be, though. It's going to be like the movie opens and Gandalf goes to sit down next to Frodo. He's like, remember that time we went to go look for Gollum? And that's all they're on the movie. Then it just goes like, then it's just like not them at all.
What do you think, Shane? Do you think this is possible? And do you think they're shooting all three movies at the same time? What do you think is happening here?
I mean, I don't know how a new trilogy or even The Hunt for Gollum, honestly, like, I don't know how that is anything other than a cash grab.
Yeah.
I hope I'm proven wrong. I hope it comes out and it's amazing and we go back to Middle Earth and have an incredible time. But I think the Middle Earth trilogies, they're batting 500 with 2 at bats. They had an incredible trilogy with Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. It does have its defenders and they're wrong. So I just don't know how, I don't know how they do that. And I don't know what you make another trilogy out of unless you're going past the timeline of Lord of the Rings. And that I don't know what else you do, because The Hunt for Gollum is supposed to take place. Is it when Gandalf leaves Frodo?
It's set during the Fellowship of the Ring era, shortly before Frodo leaves the Shire for Rivendell. The film starts with Gandalf sending Aragorn on a quest to find Gollum. I just don't understand how that could be with Vigo is not coming back.
Yeah.
Right? You're getting Ian McKellen. You're getting Elijah Wood. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry, Michael, if you want to say it.
It just upsets me.
Sean Bean is coming back and Orlando Bloom is coming back. They're all supposed to return for this. So it does. If you look at that cast list, you go, this actually doesn't feel like a one-off when I look at this cast list.
But like what? But like what space is there in the story that we know to fill 3 movies with the adventure that we never saw before? Like it just doesn't even, I don't know what this is. I scratch my head, and it is like as an executive, I get it. Or as a former executive, like I get it. I get we have this IP. It's very successful. Yeah. We should do more with it. That's how we got Rings of Power. Like, what else can we do? Like, what's the next chapter in the Lord of the Rings universe? It's why J.K. Rowling wrote Fantastic Beasts. Like, how do we keep this thing going? It's like, oh, should we do another Wicked movie? Like, I get the desire. Hey, the nerds love this world. If we can keep feeding the nerds, they're going to keep eating it up. But like, I don't know that there's any more mithril in these hills. Like, I don't think that, I don't know what the story is that's going to get everybody excited. Well, it doesn't, to Shannon's point, just feel like a cash grab.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Like, at least with Rings of Power, like the first season was a very watchable show, even if it didn't pull me back every week. Like there wasn't the episode would end and be like, oh, I have to know what happened. That just didn't happen with that show. And the second season, I kind of lost interest. I mean, I did finish it, but yeah, I don't know what else you do in Middle Earth. Having not read this, was it the Silmarillion? Having not read that, like, I don't know what stories are there that you could try to pull out of, or some of the things that were cut from the books, not The Hobbit, because, but in Lord of the Rings, the things that they did cut, where it's like, okay, could you make another thing out of this? Like, I do understand the frustration that you have this valuable IP and you don't quite know what else to do with it outside of concocting an original story. 2 things give me pause. One, there's a lot of money you're going to sink into this thing with de-aging and the smoothing out technology. And Andy Serkis hasn't really proven to be this amazing director. So do you trust him to direct a trilogy, even with Peter Jackson and Philippa Boyens sitting on both of his shoulders? I don't know that I necessarily trust him to do a trilogy and direct a trilogy of this story. I just think it screams train wreck on so many levels, you know? So this is a bit of a digression, but it connects. Okay. Have you all seen the trailer for Animal Farm? Holy shit. What the hell is that? Like, when I heard it's like, all right, it's Andy Serkis and Seth Rogen. It's like, okay. And then it says it's from Angel Studios. That I've seen that logo pop up. It's never for movies that I'm particularly interested in seeing.
Ditto.
Yeah. And then it looks like this kind of animated romp. And it's like, what the hell? Like, I remember Animal Farm being really sad. It's like, what?
Also, Angel Studios should not be doing Animal Farm. Let me just put that on the table right now.
Listen, the less said about it, the better. But it's an excellent. It supports John's point about Andy Serkis directing this movie.
Yeah, I'm concerned. I mean, and I don't know if Warner Brothers now, as we said, in the middle of this sale with Paramount, what's going to go on here, would they be willing to greenlight a trilogy? But I mean, Zaslav did say they want to get their IP out. They want to do more with their IP. But I just think this is a dangerous situation on so many levels. So we'll see. Well, speaking of stretching the IP, let's talk about this, gentlemen. This also came out. Game of Thrones is a movie. A Game of Thrones movie is officially in the works at Warner Brothers from Beau Willimon, who was a writer on Andor and also the showrunner for and creator for House of Cards. They're officially developing this movie. It'll be set, of course, in George R.R. Martin's fantasy world. So this is apparently happening. It'll be, and also there's another series that they're working on. So there will be rival versions of the story of King Aegon the First Targaryen's conquest of Westeros. This is supposedly a Dune-sized film that they're working on and a massive series that they're working on. Does this make sense? I mean, last I checked, 9 and 7 Kingdoms is nice. House of the Dragon, we'll see how the third season goes. But when you talk Game of Thrones, people still have a bad taste in their mouths. What do you guys think about it?
No, they got it, man. I mean, look, it might be bad, but like this is smart. This is smart.
Yeah? Okay.
Look, differences between Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones. One, George R.R. Martin's still around.
He is.
So he's never going to finish his fucking books, but you can just pump that man for ideas and they've come from the source and you're good. And he has sort of mapped out just generations. Granted, Tolkien did too. And like, we can go back to that with the Silmarillion, but like it's very mapped out. I think one of the things that Night of the Seven Kingdoms showed, in addition to it just being a great show and showing that you can tell a small kind of lighter to a degree story in the Game of Thrones universe, is this idea of the Targaryens, whether it be Daenerys in Game of Thrones, Rhaenyra in House of the Dragon, or Baelor and Maekar and Aerion and Aegon, Egg. There's a story that we are interested in.
Yeah.
There was Westeros. There was all the kingdoms there. There was the Starks and the Baratheons and the Lannisters. And at some point, the Targaryens came in with dragons and they fucking took over everything. And for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, they ruled because they had those dragons until Robert Baratheon led a rebellion and stopped them. And then Daenerys rose up and we saw how that ended. And so that is Star Wars level interesting. So when you tell me I'm going to do a movie about when the Targaryens came over and took over Westeros, and it's going to be this huge epic movie set in Westeros, I'm like, like I'd be in. Like maybe it sucks and we all go, you whiffed the ball, but as a concept, that's 100% a great idea.
Well, it's Aegon's conquest, which is Aegon the Targaryen, Aegon the First the Targaryen, and his sisters Visenya and Rhaenys, how they conquer Westeros using the dragons. So that would be a spectacle for a feature film. If you're going to spend money on Game of Thrones again and make it a quote Dune-sized type movie, dragons and all of this story could be the way to go.
You go to sit in a movie theater and a trailer comes on and that music starts and it says, "See how it all began." And people are like, "Yeah, I'm in. I got it."
What are your thoughts on this, Shannon? Do you think this makes sense, or are they pushing the limits of the brand already? Even though, as Michael said, George R.R. Martin is still alive.
Well, I think in terms of if you wanted to do an R-rated fantasy film, Game of Thrones is about the closest bet you can probably make. Is it only supposed to be one movie, or is it supposed to be like really?
Well, the first movie is called Aegon's Conquest: The Hunt for Gollum.
Right. Not again. We can't seem to find him. But yes. It's
competing. Even on this island.
With it being one movie, the thing that I have particularly loved about the Westerosi set series is the time that we get to spend with the characters and watching how they develop. And so for my eyes, I think I would, if you're gonna tell the story, I would probably prefer a series to get to squeeze as much story and as much character development as we can. But yeah, I mean, I don't see, because the audience will know, some of the audience will know who these families are. But current movie making logic is like, well, we have to introduce this, we have to introduce this, and it's like, is there going to be enough time to properly tell this story? And again, having not read the books, I don't know how much George R.R. Martin has already put out there. But for me, I like Game of Thrones living on TV, but I would totally see it.
You are right. It is interesting, and a lot of people don't think of it this way. But you have less story to tell in a movie than you do in a TV series.
Yeah, let's
one of the things that makes a Game of Thrones series work, Night of the Seven Kingdoms a little bit different, but in general, you have multiple characters, multiple points of view, all of these different people doing stuff. In a lot of ways, it would be much bigger and grander, but a Game of Thrones movie would work more in line with the way that Night of the Seven Kingdoms does.
Yeah,
Night of the Seven Kingdoms, like, here's a character. He wants to win the tourney. He meets a bunch of characters. Shit goes down. Like, it would be very focused, I'm assuming, on these 3 Targaryens and whatever their dynamics are as they're arguing with this war. And there would be a big battle that they were planning for, and you'd see it roll out. I think in success, they would love to have a Game of Thrones trilogy in theaters. Like, great, awesome. So I would assume that whatever story they're telling, they're planning it with an option for, if this does hit and it works and audiences come to see Game of Thrones in theaters, we'll tell more movies in this franchise as well.
Those are all great points, Mike, and Shannon as well. My concern is if you know the story, he has like incestual relationships with both of his sisters. And the dragons pretty much wipe out the armies, and the nobles mostly bend the knee to Aegon. So you're going to have to like manufacture some conflict and political intrigue and all this kind of stuff, which can be done. I'm not denying that. But like, it's different for us going to HBO Max, a paid service, and knowing what the Game of Thrones universe is, and you putting a feature film out there where the lead of your film is having sex with his 2 sisters and the dragons, like there's
incest
there. You know?
Incest has been in Game of Thrones since from day one.
But a TV series versus a feature film from a major studio in this politically fraught times, I don't know. I don't know that that's the right move, in my opinion.
Well, but I think also like the Targaryens aren't the good guys.
Well, no, true, but they win. So
100%. But the Targaryens who come into Westeros, like as to your point about manufacturing, I don't know if it would be Starks or Baratheons or Lannisters, but we would see like it basically. Think of whether it's one movie or multiple movies. These are like, it's the rebels in the Empire. The Empire is the Targaryens with dragons. Yeah. They come in. We have a bunch of people who are like, you can't be here. We're going to rebel against you. We're rooting for the rebels, even though we know they lose. Like that's the movie.
I got to give a shout out to our chat here. Incest sells. The watch says, hey, that's the story. It is what it is. LOL. Vulcan Nerd says, I mean, Alabama will love it. Yikes. Owen says, the sister wives, LOL. I like this one. Brandon says, hey, you have to keep the bloodline pure. I imagine that's true.
The amount that Game of Thrones has changed a segment of the audience being like, it's fine.
It's fine.
The acceptance from people who flipped out over Luke and Leia are now like, Damon and Rhaenyra, yay! It's just how they do things.
It kind of is what it is, I guess. Yeah, exactly.
It's just that family,
We'll see what happens. 2 competing versions. This reminds me of the G.I. Joe story we did last week. Who's going to win? Danny McBride or Max Landis? We will see. So we'll keep tabs on it for sure. Real quick, want to get you guys' thoughts on this. A new poster came out for Super Mario Galaxy movie. Do we like this? Is this highlighting everything it's supposed to highlight? Thoughts? Any surprises? Any interesting Easter eggs in this poster? Michael or Shannon, who are big Super Mario people? You tell me.
I mean, it just looks like everything you've done in the game. Like, it's a good poster in that if you've ever played Mario, you're like, yeah, that's Mario. That's what I want. I heard, like, I forget what the runtime is, but it's like, it's longer than the first Mario movie. Oh. And it's tied for, forget which other Illumination movie, but it's one of the longest Illumination movies, I think. Okay. Not still under 2 hours, but like it's not like it's a 2.5 hour animated saga. But yeah, like I don't even really particularly like the first movie, and I'm genuinely excited for this. So they're clearly doing it right.
Yeah, it's 1 hour and 38 minutes. And as you said, it'll be 6 minutes longer than the film from 2023. And the second longest Super Mario movie, though, behind the 1993 live action film.
Well,
which ran inexplicably for an hour and 44 minutes.
Man.
Yikes.
You
Yikes.
couldn't cut 14 minutes out of that.
Oh, you could cut about an hour out of that. I would. For real. All right, Shannon, any thoughts on the poster? Are you cool? Anything you want to say on that? Okay.
It looks like a galaxy.
Okay. What do we think of this trailer? Did you guys get a chance to see the boys' final season trailer? I mean, they're going full on the nose in everything that they're talking about in this one. Homelander trying to become immortal, and Butcher trying to get that serum that was at the end of Gen V season 2, to basically eradicate all the supers, whether friendly or enemy. So interesting situation. And we have Soldier Boy coming back, who apparently, speaking of incest, is asked his son if he tried to have sex with him. So what you guys think of the trailer? Good or bad? Yes or no?
I think it is time for the boys to take their final bow. As much as I enjoyed the first 3.5 seasons, I think the end of season 4, it felt like it was getting a little long in the tooth.
I'll agree.
And the thing that has made the boys, I mean, the boys has a great cast, but really it's Anthony Starr that is the guy who is just who has just retained that incredible just screen magnetism. And I think it's a good time to end the boys. I hope the writing, whereas season 4 got very on the nose with things, it felt like it was kind of really tiptoeing up to the line at the beginning. It's like, oh, this is a lot of fun. They stepped over the line and then they kept going. I hope that season 5 they go back to the other side of the line. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the show has had an incredible run. And I'll be curious what Anthony Starr does after this, because he's so associated with Homelander. Will he be able to break out of Homelander's Stars and Stripes cape?
I like what Brian says. They've been trying to kill Homelander since season 1. Wrap it up. Michael, your thoughts on this trailer?
Yeah, I agree with most of what Shannon said. It'll be interesting to see. What I hope is that they've always sort of known where they were going to land this plane. And so you kind of get to the final season and you like pull out all the stops and you run. And whereas the end with season 4, they kind of felt like they were spinning their wheels a bit. But I do agree, like based on what Shannon was saying, I agree. We talked about it. The end of season 4 was a little too on the nose. Like I love a veiled reference to the political climate that we live in currently. I don't love I ripped a headline off of the internet and just put it in the episode. And that's kind of what it started to feel like. Based on the trailer, it seems like we're getting more of that. But if and I think like Homelander's great. Like, I mean, even though I got frustrated with the show a little bit for being a little too on the nose, I still find Homelander thoroughly entertaining as a sociopathic villain.
And
Butcher a little bit. Butcher, I'm kind of like, it's been 5 seasons. At the beginning of season 1, you wanted to kill all the soups. Now you're at season 5, you want to kill all the soups.
Yeah.
All right. Like Butcher kind of bores me a little bit, to be honest. But I love the boys universe. And I think Gen V is great. I think both seasons of Gen V were super fun and super interesting and managed to have plenty of social commentary without feeling as on the nose as the back half of the last season of The Boys did. So I'm hoping that infusion of some Gen V characters and knowing where they want to land everything and what they want to say about the show as a whole kind of has them come out of the gate swinging. But honestly, the thing about The Boys is it's been such a fun ride. It is such a fun universe that even if it's a little too on the nose for us, and even if it drives me a little bit crazy, like it's going to be an enjoyable watch. Like The Boys, what you have to say for The Boys is even when The Boys gets frustrating and isn't at the quality you want The Boys to be, it's still a hell of a fun watch.
I agree. Yeah, and as you said, season 4, I agree with Shannon too. Like season 4 got a little, even though I loved it so on the nose, it did feel a little bit like, come on, let's break some new ground here. And so hopefully they've got something interesting to say to wrap this whole thing up, and how it all ends, we will see for sure. Because it's going to be even more on the nose, I think, this particular one. So, all right, actually real quick, and then we'll get into some questions, and then we'll tackle the Lanterns trailer. Michael, your thoughts on this? Wilder Robot. This is going to be the sequel. Wild Robot is getting a sequel here from DreamWorks Animation. They're developing. It's called The Wild Robot Escapes, based on the second book in the popular series by Peter Brown there. And they can exclusively reveal that Troy Quayne, that's the rap revealing this, one of the directors behind the Oscar-nominated Nimona, will take over directing duties from Chris Sanders, and Heidi Jo Gilbert, who worked as head of story on the first film, will serve as co-director. And producer Jeff Herman will also return, with Sanders writing the screenplay. So it's supposed to be exciting because Wild Robot was one of the greatest animated films of the last 20 years. Your thoughts?
I mean, I didn't realize the guy who wrote the book was so much of a cutie until you just posted that picture. So that's news to me.
Wow.
That one really floored me. He's a handsome man. No, I'm super excited. I think it's going to be great. I mean, it's not surprising. I think given the reception that the movie had when it came out, it was sort of a no-brainer that they were going to make a second one. But yeah, like this is definitely one of the DreamWorks movies that if this became a big franchise for them and they kept telling stories, I'm fully on board with it.
Okay. Shannon, your thoughts?
Surprised it took him this long. I think when your movie comes out, because it came out in the fall, right? When your movie comes out in the fall and makes as much money as it did and garners the sort of critical praise that it did, it did not win the Oscar, right? It was nominated.
Yeah, it was nominated.
But I mean, it's not a surprise at all. I'm surprised it took him this long. And I mean, let's have more Lupita Nyong'o as a robot, because I thought the movie was very enjoyable.
I could see these two together. Could you see these two together? I could see that happening. Yeah.
That's not funny.
What
I mean.
No, to be clear, what I am laughing at is Mikey's delivery there. the visual was funny. the cold reply.
Everybody, I hope everybody in the chat right now sees what I have to put up with what I call my friends.
Please.
My friends.
All right, let's answer some questions and then we'll get into the Lanterns trailer for sure. Where do we leave off at here? The Cauldron, Secret and Name. Okay, here we go. Brian Davison says, for my money, Lanterns looks dope. The effing F. Love you, gents. Peace and love. We'll get into it. Thank you, Brian Davison. Appreciate it. Kendra says, your show taught me the acting term playing low status. What does that mean exactly? And name 3 actors who are the best at playing low status. Wait, if we taught you the term, why do you still need to know what it means? But all right, we'll deal with that.
Whoa.
All right.
When people come to you for knowledge, don't knock them down.
I'm just saying, if we taught them that, why are they still asking about it? But go ahead. Yes.
Easy, Stanislavski. Okay.
Yellow. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
I hated those classes. The low status and high status characters, it's very much like society. Like low status characters are characters that are kind of like the betas, folks that typically do not command the scene. Whereas high status characters are the folks, the leaders, the ones that are going to come out and control the scene. It's not necessarily connected to socioeconomic status, but sometimes it is. In terms of like folks that are good at playing low status, I mean, Paul Giamatti is amazing. At playing low status. If you've seen Love Actually, Laura Linney is amazing at playing low status. I mean, and you can have a low status dramatic actor and a low status comedic actor. Like low status comedic would be, for me, like Ed Helms. He plays low status very, very well. And if you think about his character from The Office, that's low status who thinks he's high status. And I think on the dramatic side, you've got somebody like Martin Freeman, who can play a great low status character, but his low status characters can also become very, very high status. Again, on the dramatic side. So that's my acting thoughts.
I think the Brits, for the most part, are the best at being able to play low status or high status. Like I watch a lot of British content with Lady Outlook. She's an Anglophile like crazy. And I see a lot of the actors who I see lead shows show up in other shows playing lower status characters. It's a fascinating thing. So it takes an incredible amount of talent to go from the 1 to 10 status range as a performer. Michael, do you have any that you can think of? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, not that I can think of, but I mean, I would just think from a writing standpoint, like whenever you write a scene, it's very rare that you write a scene where 2 people are at the exact same level and have the exact same power and control in the room. So sometimes it's subtle. Like if it's two best friends, one friend might be a little bit more in control of the situation, but the further apart that dynamic gets, you go into a room and someone is begging for a job and somebody is the really wealthy CEO who could give them a job, high status and low status is very, very clear. But to Shannon's point, that doesn't always have to be socioeconomic. It could be high status and low status in terms of like the person who could hook up with anybody in the room and the person that can't get anybody to talk to them. Like there's a bunch of ways to do it, but when you're writing it, you sort of write those scenes in that way. And then finding those actors who can really embody that is a real trick to do.
Yeah, and on the high stat, on like the English example that John gave, like I think there is a thing a lot of time with guys, the American movie star does not want to necessarily play low status. They want to play high status. I mean, it's not often that you see The Rock playing low status. It's not often that you see Tom Cruise playing low status. But if you go across the pond, Ray Fiennes playing high status in one film and low status in another. And also you can flip them. I mean, and this goes more to the writing example. Like you can have some powerful CEO interviewing someone and have that high status position, and then you put him in a situation where he's on his heels. Like, not that a CEO would have to do this, but he has to go get his car fixed and he doesn't know anything about automobiles, and suddenly the mechanic who does know, suddenly the mechanic can become the high status character in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you three of them. John Turturro can play high status or low status. He's incredible at playing those things. Like you compare to Old Brother to the Batman, right? Two completely different, but he plays them so well. Low status, high status. Sam Rockwell is another one that's really great at playing low status. You look at him in The Green Mile versus him in just Justin Hammer in Iron Man 2. And you could argue he's kind of lower than the lead, but he is the villain, the main villain. So that's a great one there as well. And I would say Jeff Daniels, going from the guy from Dumb and Dumber to The Newsroom. Those are two completely different, way difference in status. So he's able to play them so believably when he plays those kinds of stuff. So yeah, that's the kind of difference there when you look at low status versus high status, for sure. Eric's96 says, what are your thoughts on the Absolute Universe? I fucking love it. I got to catch up on episode or issue 17, but I fucking love it. Guys,
it's great. It's great. It's probably the thing that I'm enjoying the most in comics right now, aside from the Batman. The current Batman that I just think is really fun and a blast. The Absolute comics are the ones that I'm the most excited to go when I see them pop into my iPad. Yeah.
Jen, are you reading any of these yet? Or no?
I haven't. This has been sitting on my desk for about 5 months, and I have not opened it yet. I'm still slowly making my way through Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
Oh, Jesus. I gave that to you in July.
I know. I know. I'm very slow.
The Richards Art says this also applies to Clayface in terms of the movement. Even more so. It's possibly hypnotic how they move. I'll send Rocha some vids. Yeah, please. Send them in. We'll play them. DUI Champ says, hey, guys, can you give us thoughts on Starfleet Academy? I am not a fan. Michael texted us about this yesterday, actually. Go ahead, Michael.
All right, look, I love Star Trek, and there's a lot of hate for Starfleet Academy online right now for reasons that I think are stupid. Okay. Like the whole too woke, women wear glasses, there's people that are heavy, like people are just, it's just gross. Yeah. So there's a lot of people that hate Starfleet Academy for reasons that really infuriate me. So it kind of like almost I'm inclined to want to defend Starfleet Academy. And what I will say is I think Starfleet Academy has a lot of really good ideas. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of really good intentions. And you look at what they're trying to do and you're like, I see what you're trying to do. And there's a world where this sort of younger YA people trying to join Starfleet thing works. I think the show is a little bit of a mess. I just think that I don't know if it was trying to do too many things or if the notes they got from the executives were really, really bad. Like, I don't know what the issue is, but there was one episode when they went to the Miyazaki and had the whole real action one where Paul Giamatti came back that I was like, this is really good. Like this this could be really good. I also think the lead is super, super hot, and I can't stop looking at him. And I think it's a generally attractive cast. And I think all the actors are doing a decent job. And I like Holly Hunter a lot. Yeah. But it just feels like it just misses the mark. I think it's one of those things also where a lot of the coolest things that seem to happen, like how this group of kids all became friends and how they all came together and what goes on in the school, seems to happen between episodes. Like we get to an episode and you're like, we're all doing this thing. And I'm like, I didn't even know you guys were that close friends. Like what happened here? Like it's for a lot of reasons, I think the show is a little bit of a mess, which frustrates me because, as I said, when the anti-woke, anti-DEI people come out to attack a show, I'm sort of inclined to be like, no, come on. But I've also been watching a lot of old 90s Star Trek recently. I did a whole rewatch of Deep Space Nine. I'm on season 4 of Voyager right now. And it's particularly when you're watching classic 90s Star Trek and then you flip over to Starfleet Academy, you're like, yeah, it just it's not hitting the mark for me.
Yeah. I'm halfway through episode 4. I just had to stop. So hearing your review doesn't make me excited to finish it, but I do want to finish it because I love Holly.
I think episode 5 is the one that I think is the best one. I think that's the one where they go to the Miyazaki. They have like a field mission. I think if you watch that, you're going to go, oh, I see what this could have been. This was good. But then the episodes after that, I was like, whoa, okay.
But I mean, to be fair, Strange New Worlds was a mixed bag this past season too, so which is frustrating.
But they basically came out and said, guys, we know this is bad.
Yeah. We got 4 and 5 coming, guys. Hold on.
Like it's gonna be better, guys.
Tebs 23 as for black actors potentially playing the Joker in the DC, what about Lakeith Stanfield?
I think Lakeith Stanfield is an amazing performer and physically definitely fits that Joker body type, that kind of tall and lanky. Lakeith Stanfield will be a cool choice.
Yeah, I would see him for the Riddler. And you say that because it's not going to be the crossing over so far. There's the Pattinson DCU is not this DCU. So I could see him playing the Riddler more than the Joker. And this is another actor who can play low status and high status really well, Lakeith Stanfield. Yeah. What are your thoughts on this, Michael? You like this?
I think it's great.
Okay.
I'm kind of into this idea. So I'm into the idea of a black Joker. So great.
Just remember I said it. Wiley said, been watching Lethal Weapon films for the first time. Going to watch the 4th one tonight. What should my expectations be on it going in? Love them all. Lower them. Guys, what do you think?
Danny Glover has been getting too old for this shit for 4 movies. Yeah. It is a fun movie. It's a fun movie. Chris Rock was a fun addition. Is a fun addition to the cast. Jet Li is really cool to watch fight. But I think it kind of tops out at 3 for me.
Yeah, 1 is a great movie. 2 is a spectacular sequel. 3 is a very fun sequel.
Yeah. And
then 4 is a movie.
4 is a movie, exactly. When they try to make you believe that Mel Gibson and Danny Glover can take out Jet Li, I have to leave the theater. Like I mentally left the theater when I saw that. So thank you again, Tabs, for the same question. Appreciate it. Alan Smithy, spoilers, they don't find Gollum. Yeah, there you go. Richard's Art says, pick for me to paint. Bat Beyond, any sci-fi horror or something psychedelic. I've completed my current. I'm about to go wild card. I could, gentlemen, do you want to suggest something for him to paint?
Batman Beyond, any
sci-fi horror or something psychedelic.
So on the sci-fi side, I would say, how about a fun spin on The Last Starfighter?
Oh, wow. Okay. I was going to say, just give me some Aliens versus Predator.
And hey,
The Last Starfighter taking out some xenomorphs and some predators.
That could work. Try drawing us 3 as comic book characters, and we might put it as a look.
Give me some hair. Give me some hair.
Watch older episodes. Watch older episodes for the Michael shot.
Make Vogel Alex Rogan and put him in a helmet.
Late to the live stream. Good seeing you, geeks. I'm going to look forward to listening to this episode later. Walking with my dog. Keep up the geeky banter. Well, I hope it's a long walk. We're almost at 2 hours, but JM219 says, happy birthday, Dick Grayson, 86 years old today. Well, I think he's Richard if he's 86 by now, but
I hope my ass looks that good when I'm 86.
Diane Dre Mosley, I think that's right. How do you feel about the upcoming Harry Potter series? I think a better way to expand the Wizarding universe might be to explore different magic schools.
Well, I can tell you how Shannon feels about the new Harry Potter series. I mean, I'm just not interested in it. I'm going to watch it because we're probably going to talk about it, but I just couldn't have really interest in it, but I guess I'll watch it.
I mean, I work at the park. I kind of have to, but I don't want to. Yeah. I'm interested. I'm curious. I'm not hopeful. I'm just curious. That's where I'm at right now, I would say. Michael?
I'm probably the most intrigued out of the three of us. And I do think that, although I agree with you that exploring different magical schools and kind of expanding the Wizarding world is something that I think would be cool, I think that they felt burned by Fantastic Beasts, and they're going to stay very firmly at Hogwarts with characters that they know people like.
There you go. Michael McKenzie says, hey, geeks, have you seen the new Gorillas video? I have not. I've seen.
So awesome.
Yeah? Okay.
It's great. Classic 2D animation, lots of like Jungle Book references and vibes, and just like in the era of AI and all these videos getting posted and seeing look what AI can do, seeing just like a really nice long 2D extravaganza was really, really fun. I watched it a few times. I think it's awesome.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen the clips online, but I haven't watched it fully yet. KJ474 said, why don't the movie studios simply remake G.I. Joe miniseries Revenge of Cobra or Rise Serpent or for live action? I think fans want to see it.
Man,
yeah.
Revenge of Cobra was great. No, I mean, I do think that fans, yes, but for them to make G.I. Joe successful, and we say this all the time, like, although we are very firmly this demographic, like, they don't need to make a G.I. Joe or a Transformers or a He-Man or any of those things for us.
Yeah.
We're going to go see them no matter what, if we're honest. They need to make a new generation of kids fall in love with those characters.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Richard Hart says, I believe Angel Studios is more of a label than a mission. They distribute a sketch, which is a family horror. No, they have a mission. It's very clear the kind of movies that they want to put out. They're very faith-based movies. So that's the approach that lean right-wing. That's what I've seen mostly from Angel Studios. So I haven't seen Sketch, though, and I love Tony Hale, and I love the actress who was on that. I can't remember.
I heard Sketch was cool. I heard Sketch was a good movie.
Sketch is really good. Yeah.
Also, I'm good. I'm fine with a faith-based movie if it's good.
Yeah. Bring me Ben-Hur. I love that. Justin Gallagher, 3290 says, hey, buds, happy Friday. 2 questions. Thoughts on Pluribus and where season 2 might go? What are your favorite film soundtracks? Mine, Sci-Fi's Children of Dune with Young Hot McAvoy. Each track a banger. Okay.
Like young hot McAvoy.
Not old.
Not scary yoked McAvoy from
Split
and Speak No Evil.
And Glass. Yeah.
So Pluribus, man, I don't know where Pluribus season 2 is going to go. I was actually having a conversation about someone with this the other day, and how Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad, those both went for 6-7 seasons. And I'm like, I feel like Pluribus is like 3 tops, because I don't know where else you go, but also I'm not as good a writer as Vince Gilligan. So he probably has a pretty strong idea of where he wants to take the series. Sci-Fi's Children of Dune is an incredible score. A lot of people have heard it and they don't realize it because they use it in a lot of trailers. But in terms of right now, the score for Rental Family with Brendan Fraser is a big favorite of mine. And there's another one, but I think Vogel's gonna go with something recent. So I will let him take it. No. Then A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. The score for A Night of the Seven Kingdoms is outstanding, and because it's based off of 7 episodes that are about half an hour, you can go through it in a long drive.
Yeah. Okay. Michael?
I don't know. I'm with Shannon. I think what I like about Pluribus is that it's hard to gauge where it's going to go next and what the story is going to be. But I have a feeling that, unlike Shannon, I see this as something that it's just going to keep building on itself. And we could easily get 5-6 seasons of a show that really just kind of goes there's a world where Carol ends up leading all of them and they go into space to go to the next planet together. Like, I don't know where this thing goes, but it could just go to wild, wild places, which is what I love about it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people didn't love the pacing of it. That didn't bother me at all. I love a show that just kind of constantly keeps me guessing. And so I can't wait for more Pluribus. As far as like favorite film soundtracks, I am definitely a child of the 80s. And so, you know, I have multiple playlists that are all movie scores, but one is like just completely John Williams. So, you know, you can just take E.T., Star Wars, Superman, Indiana Jones, Harry Potter, Jurassic Park, and dump it all into a playlist. And it's pretty much going to be most of my favorites. I also think Back to the Future is one of the all-time great scores that's ever been made. And then I think How to Train Your Dragon is also one of the best scores of all time. So there's a lot of other individual tracks that I love from movies. And like Shannon said, we've just been texting about A Night of the Seven Kingdoms and how good that score is. So I love a lot of scores, but those are some of my all-time tops.
Yeah, I don't have much to add to question one. You guys pretty much nailed it. I love not knowing. I don't want to guess where it's going to go because I like the way it's being rolled out. I dug the pacing, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's next. I also think it's a bit of a crime that Rhea Seehorn didn't win the actor award. I've never seen The Diplomat. Maybe Kerry Russell's doing better work, but I think Rhea was amazing.
I love the Diplomat. I love The Diplomat, but she's not.
Okay, fair point. As for the second question, I'm going to go to, you say soundtracks, so I'm not a score whore. To me, soundtracks, I'm thinking Pulp Fiction. I'm thinking Rocky IV, Top Gun. These are some of my favorite soundtracks to listen to. So I take tracks off that. Some individual tracks on the Gladiator soundtrack from the Russell Crowe movie, I think are pretty amazing. But also the 1980s Gladiator soundtrack with Cuba Gooding Jr. and James Marshall, Brian Dennehy. There's some damn good tracks on that one as well. So for me, soundtracks is where I go. Like The Crow is probably the greatest soundtrack, one of the greatest soundtracks I've ever heard. So I don't go
Dancing.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a good one too. I can't deny it. There's a lot of good music. But I don't necessarily go to score. I own maybe 4 or 5 scores. And The Mission is one of them from the 1980s. That is one of the most amazing scores I've ever heard in my life. So I don't go quite as deep as these boys do, but soundtracks to me is songs, and I go that direction in my mind.
Fair.
All right, well, let's get into this stuff. We've waited long enough. Let's get into it. Lanterns, this trailer dropped 2 days ago, I guess, and it was leaked and then it was dropped really quickly. We got to see Kyle Chandler here as Hal Jordan, a gruff kind of Mickey to a Rocky Hal Jordan here, with Aaron Pierre essentially as John Stewart being his Rocky, being trained. We got shots of this town that they're in, some sort of assembly here that feels a bit ominous. It feels very much like Watchmen, the first season of Watchmen that we had from Damon Lindelof. Then we have Kelly MacDonald here playing the sheriff, telling you all it's her fucking town and all of that. We get to see Hal flying around. We get to see John Stewart possibly taking control of something yellow there. We know what that's all about. And we have shots of the lantern, shots of the ring, shots of the costume, which has caused much controversy, a possible reference to Chip at the end, and possibly an outing that Guy Gardner is not necessarily human, which a lot of people who don't know about Guy Gardner would think is a wrong assumption. But we know that he is. If you know read the comics, you know he is half Voldarian. So, gentlemen, your thoughts on the trailer and the controversy and the reactions people have had here. Michael,
Shannon?
Okay, Shannon, go, Shannon.
Well, I really enjoyed the trailer. I thought the trailer lined up with everything that they said the show was going to be, that this is going to be sort of the true detective of the new DC universe. Yeah. I am such a huge fan of Kyle Chandler. Watching him in anything always makes me happy. Seeing Coach Taylor get to wear a power ring, to me just made my heart smile. And looking at this permanently windswept hair that he has, and seeing that Hal Jordan is a bit of a loose cannon in this universe, and looking at the brief chemistry that we see between him and Aaron Pierre, I think it's really, really good. I mean, the moment after the car goes over the cliff and you see Hal sitting down having some lunch and a beer, and John Stewart comes up, Aaron Pierre, and I thought the moment was absolutely genuine. Like, clearly he was able to use the ring, or he somehow survived a car going over a ravine. But just that I could have died. He's like, you wanted me to train you? I'm training you. To the criticisms of the lack of green, I don't disagree.
Okay.
There are many times, like I think I said when we watched Superman, like the lack of green sheen when Guy was flying, to me, it looks weird. Like, you know, that first shot of the Justice Gang where we see Mr. Terrific and Hawkgirl and Green Lantern, like, you know, Hawkgirl's got her wings that are flapping. Mr. Terrific is in his rocket Barca lounger, and Guy's just kind of floating there. And I get that Superman does that as well. He does have a cape that billows behind him, but a guy just kind of floating there. I'm like, I don't love this. And I love the shot of Hal taking flight. And I just wish there had been a little bit of a green sheen of energy. And as this is a world that has superheroes, you know, I don't think it would be that out of place. And that moment at the end where he's roughing up the dude that he's interrogating, and you see him, you know, kind of, you know, punch with his fist, and you see the emblem of the ring. I'm like, not even just a little spark, like not even just a little bit. Overall, I'm very excited for the show. Kyle Chandler as Hal Jordan is not something that I knew that I wanted. And now that I've seen it, I'm kind of like, I'm really excited to see this. To the Guy Gardner, it could be, maybe he's half alien. Maybe this show takes place before Guy is a Green Lantern. Possible.
Very possible.
I mean, maybe. Who knows?
Or maybe Guy Gardner's on the outs and he's not considered a Green Lantern. I don't know. Michael,
and folks have said, like, Hal does not consider Guy a Green Lantern.
Yeah, could be that. Michael, your thoughts on this trailer? What worked for you? What did?
So, look, what I find funny about this trailer is I think that what happened when this trailer came out in the worlds of geekdom is that everybody's sort of like split down the middle.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, they did what we do with politics and every other subject is there was the guys, they said they were doing True Detective. This looked like True Detective. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? This is what they said they were giving. Then you have the people be like, it's Green Lantern. It has to be green. What the fuck is wrong? Like, and everybody's yelling at each other. And I'm like, yeah, you're both right. You're both right. And I think that there's cause to be concerned. I think the trailer's good. I think the chemistry between the two of them was good in the trailer. Aaron Pierre, I got less of a sense of what his John Stewart is going to be like, but I mean enough that I'm like, okay, I get the dynamic between you two. I think we got a lot more of Kyle Chandler's personality as Hal Jordan, and I really, really liked that. I was like, this guy feels like an older Hal Jordan to me. Absolutely, the True Detective vibes are there.
Yeah.
I think that sometimes what happens is when you're like, how are we going to do this superhero story differently? And you kind of come in, you're like, we're going to do the True Detective take. That's totally valid. A True Detective version of, you know, Hal Jordan and John Stewart trying to solve a case. Yeah. There's a world where that's really cool. Sometimes you can overdo it. Sometimes you go too far. And my gut tells me from this trailer that maybe they went too far. Okay. You can have superpowers and a green glow and a suit for a Green Lantern that's actually green and still do True Detective. Like, those two things are not mutually exclusive. So when people are like, I really thought the suit would be green, or I wanted to see at least one construct in this trailer to let me know it was, I want to know what the constructs look like. Like, are the constructs green or are they going to be beige? Like when we say we want to see those things, it doesn't mean that the True Detective vibe is going to be as a bad idea, but it just means that, like, at least based on what they've given us so far, it seems like they overcorrected maybe. And, you know, I think, like, you know, what it made me think about was in 2000 when X-Men came out and they were like, well, we're going to put them all in black leather. And we're even going to make a joke about it where Scott Summers says, what were you expecting? Yellow spandex? Like, ha, ha, ha. We would never put you guys in those stupid comic book costumes. But after the era of superhero movies that we've lived in, like we like comic book accurate costumes. We all screamed when we saw Wolverine in his comic book accurate costume with the hood in Deadpool and Wolverine. So similarly, like, yeah, go with the True Detective vibes, but give us some more superhero to your superhero story.
Yeah, I mean, I think those are valid complaints. A lot of people had them. As you pointed out, I was more in the camp of like, this is what they promised us, and I loved what they gave us. I actually don't have a problem with the muted greens or anything that they showed here. I like
beige.
it.
It's beige.
Well, I mean, that's still green. It's a hue. You know,
Sure.
I mean, just like the little basket of fries, that's green. That's green. So, you know. But I don't mind it. I like it. It's much more subtle. And, you know, someone said really well, it's like, he's been on Earth for a long time. So to him, he doesn't need to kind of showcase the big, like, it's just a chill thing. And we don't know if that's the only outfit. There may be other Green Lantern costumes that he has or that he uses. And we don't know if he's trying to keep it chill because what's going on in this town? We don't know what's going on in this town, but clearly something's off. Something's wrong. I liked the energy of the trailer. It does have the True Detective, but it still had the fantastical moments, him flying off, him telling him you need the ring being put there, the lanterns, and Aaron Pierre having that yellow thing being drilled into his head. We don't know what that is. And there are rumors, of course, the people have, well, not rumors, but people are saying, you know, Paul Ben Victor is going to play Antan, which is possibly a Red Lantern. So that might be a part of this thing. We also saw Garrett Dillahunt. I think he's going to be a villain in this. What villain is he going to be? There's rumors about Sinestro being in this as well. So we're going to get the cosmic, fantastical, all the stuff that I think people were upset about not seeing in the teaser trailer. Because remember, this is a teaser trailer. So I think there will be stuff. They just may not be done with all the special effects yet.
I don't think we're getting cosmic in this.
Really?
No.
Okay. All right.
I think the entire concept of doing True Detective is we're doing a grounded thing, which, again, I think there will be aliens, but I don't think we're getting giant CG aliens. Like, I think in the same way that guy might be playing a Red Lantern.
CG powers. Do you think we'll see CG powers, special effects, and that kind of thing?
I think we will, but I also, just based on the vibe of the trailer, I don't think we're getting constructs the way Guy Gardner does constructs in Superman.
Right.
And I think that's going to be when you have two different lanterns. And also, by the way, I do think Guy Gardner is human. I think that whatever that moment was, I think they put that in the end of the trailer because the chip line is really funny. Yeah. But I do think that either that is pre-Guy Gardner becoming a lantern or he is pissed at Guy Gardner. I think that will resolve itself in the storytelling. But I kind of also raised my eyebrow. I was like, what? So we'll see about that. But no, I just have this feeling that, and again, it's probably colored by the fact that we were tweeting this morning and Damon Lindelof was on Love It or Leave It with the Pod Save America guys and was talking about lanterns. And he said, yeah, we didn't call it Green Lanterns because the green part is stupid. And you're like, well, so to me,
that's a mistake, I think. Yeah.
When you have a trailer where all the stuff that should be really green is arguably barely green, and you don't see constructs, and Damon Lindelof is saying we're calling it lanterns because the green part was stupid. My concern, and I'm not freaking out about it yet because I agree with John that there's a lot of good stuff about the trailer. My concern is and we've seen it before, this is a show that's going to apologize for being a superhero show instead of embracing being a superhero show.
That's a good point. Could it turn out to be something like that? Yeah, you don't want that. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
To play the other side.
Sure.
The clip that I saw, felt like a fairly lighthearted comedic conversation. So one, it felt like he was kind of joking, but even if he was or he wasn't, the point being, don't bash your source material, even if you are just trying to make a good humored comment.
Yeah, he said he was joking about it. Yeah, right.
So, but I mean, at this point, having worked in fandom, he should know. Like, don't say that. Like, you know what I mean?
But like, to John's point, really quickly, like we do know, like, what's that? It's that Swedish actor.
Yes,
Ulrich Thompson is playing Sinestro.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a rumor that Sinestro's in it. Like, Sinestro's in it.
Yeah.
So I do think, like, when I say it's not going to be cosmic, I'm not saying we're never going to see an alien or the Guardians of Oa aren't going to show up or whatever, but I think that aliens are all going to be very also grounded in their design or their look or whatever. Like, I just have this feeling about it.
Yeah, I mean, everyone is listed as 8 episodes, but I don't know if they're all going to be in 8 episodes. Like, even Nathan Fillion is listed for 8 episodes in the IMDb. But is that true? I don't know that that's true necessarily. Right, exactly. So when I look at when I look at what they're putting together here, clearly there's going to be some sort of political reference to this in some way.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, just this town hiding a secret. If you look at that entire auditorium, it's all white people, and it's like, where are we? What are we exploring here, right? And what is the situation? But just remove all that. To me, the thing that stuck out at me was Kyle Chandler, Hal Jordan saying to John Stewart, "I'm not going anywhere. I'm still the guy in charge of things. I'm still the guy who's doing things." So if you're training what is usually in the comics, he trains John Stewart to be his replacement. Why is he saying he's not going anywhere if he's training it? So, Mike, I have a feeling that I just have a weird feeling he's going to die, and that's going to be the thing that happens and like kind of opens the door to this investigation and John Stewart taking the mantle and all of this stuff. So,
well,
it just
Shannon gonna be real sad. He just got his Coach Taylor.
That's what I'm saying. Because I just feel like the way he said, and all of the shots seem like they're from the beginning of the show. Like, none of the shots with Kyle feel like they're later on in the series. So to me, that's where I'm kind of wondering about what this is all leading.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Man.
Because it says they want to give up the mantle. If you're training your replacement. Yeah.
Geek's going to go wild. Geeks will go wild. Here's what I think, and here's about the True Detective of it all. And this was when all the green argument, it made me think about this. Like, True Detective is great.
Yes.
When it's great. Even True Detective has a hard time hitting the True Detective bar. And I think that when you do a show like this and you're like, we're going to maybe pull back on the superpowers, we want to be more grounded, we want to do all that, totally valid and fair, you have to have a show that is so good. And what it made me think of is like with Andor. One of the very few critiques that Gilroy got with Andor is there's not so many aliens.
Right.
Like, particularly in season 1. In season 2, a couple more got thrown in, but like no main character aliens. And aside from K2SO coming in at the end, not a ton of droids. Like, that was not his vibe. He did not want to have a bunch of like prosthetics, and people complained about that. But Andor was so good that you kind of went, all right, well, he doesn't have all the aliens that I would like in a Star Wars universe. There was no giant yoked hut fighting in a ring, but it was so good. And so with Lanterns, that's kind of how I took what I took away from this trailer was, I see what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And if you do it, if you hit True Detective levels of good, and I'm talking the good seasons of True Detective. So I'm talking season 1 of True Detective. Then you did it. But if you don't hit that, and you don't have a ton of constructs, or it's not a lot of green, or he doesn't glow green when he flies, I think you might be in trouble.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, I think some of the criticisms, people lose their fucking minds. This is a teaser trailer, but I'm also trying to temper my pushbacks on this, because to me, it's exactly what they pitched us, and I like what they showed. So it just kind of, I'm miffed at people being upset about this. Like, I really am. I'm like, it's a teaser. Like,
I don't think they're wrong though. This is an area, like, I hear you.
Yeah.
I don't think they're wrong. Yeah. And I think that, again, this is that thing where both things can be true.
Yeah.
Like, you could give us the exact tone and the exact trailer and everything that you liked about it. And had that suit been green and that he glowed a little bit when he took off, and you saw one shot of them doing one thing where they used that ring, and you said, oh, okay, like, I'm going to see the goods. Like, the fact that it was the flying without the glow, which also Guy Gardner does. It was no constructs whatsoever. It was the color of the suit. It was the muted nature of everything. Yeah. People freaking out about that and saying this is concerning. I don't think that that's them saying, I don't want a grounded True Detective style Lanterns.
Yeah.
But I think that they're right to call out like, I'm down for a grounded True Detective style Lanterns, but this stuff is also what makes the Lanterns the Lanterns.
Yeah, some people came at me were like, "You've never read a Green Lantern books." It's not that. It's just that I'm not so like, this is not my, like, it's just I don't understand. I want to wait to see what they do. And I think too much of our fandom is caught up in the immediate reaction. And I think there needs to be, yeah, exactly. And I think there needs to, and look, I'll be fair. I'm sure I've done it a couple times on the show, a few times on the show. And to me, it's
never.
Yeah, right. Let's see what the actual end product is, and then we'll judge it accordingly. My concern is that people are already lined up to hate the show, and that every episode will drop, and there'll be a number of people who, no matter how good the episode is, are going to come for it because it didn't satisfy what they wanted the show to be. And I just would like us to keep a bit of an open mind to see where it ends up, and then we'll fully judge it by the end. Of course, we'll be reviewing it episode per episode.
Yeah, right. But that's anything, though. I mean, it's not, isolated just to this. I mean,
I know.
There's never going to be a thing that everybody is jazzed about.
Yeah, it's true. You're right. People are coming for, everything. You're right. Yeah.
Except for Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Well, they came for it initially,
but then they didn't.
And then they didn't. Right.
But then they didn't. Like the proof is always in the pudding. It's like when things are like people were. There was complaints about Andor early on, or like when the trailer for season 2 aired and there was a song that was a modern day song and it wasn't score and everybody was all pissed about it and like whatever. But like Andor came out and everybody was like, all right, no, you did it. Yeah. By any stretch, you did it. It's fine. Like when stuff's really, really good, people are like, okay, it's the problem with a lot of our superhero stuff, even the stuff that a lot of us like. So don't come for me in this.
Yeah.
Not a lot of our superhero stuff is home run, knocked it out of the park. That was absolutely fantastic. So there's always that room for, oh, well, I really hated this moment and they kind of got this right, but they didn't do this. And I just wish this was a little too silly. This was a little too serious. This wasn't the way it was in the comics. Like there just always is something. And that's true of Star Wars and Star Trek and everything else as well.
Well, I mean, and James Gunn said they're going to do different types of, genres, different types of feelings for their movies, for their shows. And certainly this doesn't feel like anything we've seen before from the James Gunn universe. I imagine Clayface will be different. Supergirl's different. So it's going to be interesting to see how people react to it as it comes out. And when a full trailer comes out. And I wonder if they're back there going, shit, we need to add some green to this shit when we do the full trailer. I don't know.
Somebody somewhere is like, they better put a goddamn construct in that next trailer.
Yeah, I think somebody's saying that. That's what it might be Lindelof. All right, let's hit these questions. Anything more to say on the trailer that we missed? Anything you guys want to bring up?
I think we covered. Listen, I'm with you that I think that there was a lot of stuff in the trailer that was good and interesting.
Yeah.
But I do wonder. We'll just see. I have in the back of my mind, I have this feeling of, are they going to be apologizing for it being a superhero show? Are they going to apologize for Green Lantern? That's what I worry about.
I think that's a fair assessment. Page 79. Let's get these questions here as we wrap up. First super chat. Wow, 3 Kings of Geek. When are we getting a Geek Buddies calendar? Please, I want. Nobody wants me in a calendar.
When my hair grows in. When my hair grows in.
These two could be in the calendar. I won't be again. WV Grad says, any thoughts on Paradise? Episode 4 had me throw my hands in the air and yell, what the fuck is he supposed to do now?
Nobody's saying nothing. I haven't started season 2 yet, and I'm going to binge it maybe this weekend. I'm very, very, very excited to watch it. I loved season 1.
Here's what I'll tell
wife.
You.
Oh, no, I was going to say Shani and I are trying to find the time to watch it, but we were catching up on Shrinking and The Pit.
Oh, yeah. Shannon in the Pit. That's right. I've seen all 4 episodes. We are slavish devotees to Paradise. We love it. And it's fantastic. This season's been great. I saw some of the mixed reviews and I was like, I don't know what you people are talking about, because the first 4 episodes have been excellent. And Shailene Woodley has been a great addition to the cast. And I like her story in those episodes. So I'm a big, big fan of this stuff and the way they're expanding that world even more that we saw in Paradise. So yeah, good stuff. And I agree with you. I didn't throw up my hands, but I had a reaction. Justin Gallagher says, I am emceeing a Cub Scout Quizzo fundraiser. Got any good geek-related Quizzo questions? Planning on how many different characters have played Robin?
Yes.
Characters? Okay.
What rank of scout did Henry Jones Jr. achieve?
Oh, what is the answer?
It is life scout.
Oh.
There we go.
I got nothing.
Okay.
Not a trivia guy.
I would say which is better, Zack Snyder's Man of Steel or
No.
Richard Donner's
No.
That's your quiz up.
Here's the quiz. Here's the quiz. What color is the lantern ring?
That'd be perfect. Jody Money says, is Nathan Fillion signed on to play in future films? I wonder if Guy is dead and Hal is training John Stewart as his new backup. No way.
I don't know if I heard this. I don't know if I made this up. I mean, well, because Nathan Fillion is listed in the IMDb. Like, I think Guy Gardner's showing up in Lanterns.
Yeah, he's showing up. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I think, like, I don't know why Guy Gardner is a Lantern and Hal is a Lantern and he's training John Stewart. I don't know what that's going to be or how they're going to explain that. But I do think this is a universe where there is a Guy Gardner and a Hal Jordan and a John Stewart, and or a soon-to-be not Hal Jordan if John is right and Hal Jordan kicks the bucket.
And I think Nathan Fillion did say in an interview he was excited because he got to drop an F-bomb as Guy Gardner.
Yeah, there you go. We'll see. Like some Micaitis is just John Reed Streamlabs with Michael and Shannon. Yeah, I do. I'm going to get to them in just a second. Just wanted to get the super chats first. Let's get to those Streamlabs. We only have 2 or 3 of them. So let's see here. Carlton Banks says, how come Shannon and Michael never comment on how good John Rocha's hair is when they get on the stream? He's got a good hair to hair and a good hairline. Oh, that's.
I've been telling John that his hair looks good since we were in our 20s.
There you go. Yeah.
We don't feel we have to point out that the sun is yellow. It's just obvious that John has good hair.
You know what? I've never asked for that, and I appreciate it though. It's very nice. Fantastic says, hey, Hot Mike. I mean Spillers. I mean Jedi Way. I mean Geek Buddies. I got to show love for all your shows, brother. I'm loving all the content out of this channel, but especially Geek Buddies. Kudos to you guys and kudos to Rocha for stepping up and raising our spirits. Good job to Mike and Shannon for raising our spirits as well. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Fred.
Very kind. That's all we have. That's all the questions. Those were the only Streamlabs. Everything else was Super Chat. So that's it. That's all we got here. So anything more to say at the end, gentlemen, as we wrap up our show? Sorry, went a little bit over 2 hours. What are you guys going to say? Anything?
It was lovely. Aside from some really hurtful comments from my friend. There it is again. There it is again. No, this is great. Great way to kick off the weekend with all my buddies, wherever you may be.
I agree. Michael or Shannon?
Yeah, if you want to find where Vogel is hanging out this weekend, it will not be at a barber or a hairstylist. He won't be going back there for a minute.
Wow.
Are you going to change? Do you have the same person cut your hair? Are you going to change it?
No, I'm going to go to the same guy. He's great. He cuts my hair all the time. I went in and I was like, the curls are bugging me. Why don't we cut it short? And usually when I tell him that, he cuts it at a certain length that is like correct. And I think he either misheard me or misunderstood me. And so he did this and then he spun me around and I went, oh. And he instantly was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I went, no, I just gotta get used to it. It's fine.
There you go. It certainly happens. I've been there
Does your
myself.
voice normally go high at the end of a haircut?
My friends have pointed out to me that any time that I am being politely untruthful. Hey, did you like the latest Scream movie? Oh yeah, it was fun.
So, did you like that Hamlet Thrance? Oh yeah, it was great.
That was great. That show. John, what a great performance.
Paige says, could we get a romantic comic book movie like Heated Rivalry?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Marvel right now opening the door to a number of gay characters coming in, possibly. Yes.
I pitched my managers the other day. I said, I got an idea. It's Lord of the Rings meets Heated Rivalry. They're like, tell us more.
The elves. I liked it. Oh my God. Why did Vogel throw Gwen Stacy off the bridge?
Oh, you all can all rot in hell.
I'm sweating from laughter right now.
Oh,
y'all a bunch of fuckers.
we gotta cut it there. All right, let's get out of here. Thank you all so much for joining us live. We appreciate it. Or if you're listening later or watching later, we appreciate you all madly. Shannon, what do we have to tell these wonderful people, please?
Yeah, if you'd like to follow us on social media, on Twitter, it's @geek_buddies, on Instagram at _geek_buddies. If you'd like to follow me on social media, on Twitter, it's @Shannon_McClung. On Instagram, it's Shannon the Geek Buddy. I'll be on the pit next Thursday. If you'd like to follow Mr. Vogel and find out where all that hair went, it's @MK2. And if you'd like to follow Mr. Rocha, it is @The Rocha Says. Let him know he's got a great head of hair.
Thank you. Mikey.
Go ahead and smash that like button below. Subscribe to Johnny's John Rocha page. Check out all the amazing content he has got there. If you are listening to this a little bit later, leave your comments below. What do you think of the Lanterns trailer? What do you think of the Game of Thrones movie? What do you think of the Search for Gollum? And if you have any witty little comments about my hair, put them down there in the comments. If you're listening to us on a podcast, leave us some stars and comments so we go up in the rankings as more people can find us. And as always, the best thing you can do is retweet this video, post it on your socials, send it to your friends, tell them to hang out with your buddies, the Geek Buddies.
There you go. Thank you all so much again. And we will talk to you next time with another brand new episode here of the
Geek
Buddies!